It was a dark and quiet night in the deep forest. A hunter was hiding behind a tree, ready to shoot a deer for dinner. Suddenly, he heard a strange rustling sound. He looked and saw a giant snake slithering on the ground toward an old iroko tree. The hunter froze in fear as the huge snake curled around the tree. Right before his eyes, the snake magically turned into a beautiful woman wearing a bright, patterned dress. The hunter's hands shook and he whispered, "Someone will fall into her trap," as the mysterious woman walked toward the nearby road. Welcome to Royal Beat Tales, a home of interesting stories. Emeka was driving his car on a lonely road by the forest that night. He was a young Uber driver on his way home. As he turned a corner, he saw a beautiful woman standing by the roadside, waving for a ride. Emeka stopped the car and smiled as the woman got in. She told him her name was Joy. Joy looked kind and pretty, and Emeka felt happy to help her. He did not know that Joy was the snake from the forest, and that he was in great danger. Emeka took Joy to a small restaurant where they ate and talked for hours. Joy laughed and told funny stories, and Emeka felt like he had known her for a long time. He had been a bit lonely because his fiancée, his girlfriend he planned to marry, was out of town, so he enjoyed Joy's company very much. It got late, and Emeka invited Joy to stay at his house for the night since she had nowhere else to go. As they walked into Emeka's home, his neighbor from next door saw Joy and was amazed by how beautiful she was. Hidden in the shadows, the neighbor watched them with wide eyes, feeling strangely drawn to Joy. The next day, Emeka left the house to buy something at the store, leaving Joy alone at home. While he was away, the curious neighbor couldn't resist any longer and invited Joy over to his house to chat. Joy went to the neighbor's house with a gentle smile. A short while later, Emeka returned and heard a frightening noise from the neighbor's home. He rushed over and found the neighbor on the floor, shaking and talking nonsense, as if he had lost his mind. Joy stood quietly in the corner, watching the poor neighbor with a strange little smile. A cold chill ran down Emeka's spine. He realized that something was very, very wrong with Joy. Emeka knew he had to get Joy away from him and his neighborhood. He came up with a plan. That evening he told Joy he would drive her back to the place where he had picked her up, pretending it was just a kind offer. Joy agreed and got into the car. As they drove toward the dark forest, Emeka's heart pounded. He planned to drop Joy off and then quickly drive away, leaving her there. But Joy began to sense that Emeka was trying to send her away. She narrowed her eyes at him, and her friendly face slowly changed to an angry frown. Emeka gripped the steering wheel tight, feeling nervous. Joy's eyes flashed with anger, and Emeka knew his plan was in trouble. Suddenly, Joy let out a low hiss, and something incredible happened. Her legs started to fuse together and turn into a long, scaly tail. In a moment, Joy changed into the giant snake again, right there in the car. Emeka screamed in fear. The snake's huge body coiled and knocked against the seats. Emeka slammed on the brakes and leaped out of the car as fast as he could. He stumbled and fell on the road, then quickly picked himself up and ran toward the trees. Emeka ran and ran into the dark woods, not daring to look back. He finally stopped behind a large tree, out of breath and shaking. Silence. The car and the road were far behind him now. Emeka thought he had escaped the snake lady. But had he really? After a long while, Emeka gathered his courage and crept back to his house, hoping that Joy was gone forever. He opened the door slowly. To his shock, Joy was inside, waiting for him in the dark living room. She looked like a woman again, but her eyes were glowing a little in the shadowy room. Joy smiled at Emeka, but it was not a friendly smile. In a cold, whispery voice, she said, "You are mine forever, Emeka." Emeka felt his body freeze. He couldn't move or speak. Joy's magic was wrapping around him like invisible ropes. Emeka had fallen under her spell. He was like a puppet on strings now, and Joy was the puppeteer. That night and every night after, Joy made Emeka do whatever she wanted. She ordered him to drive her to different lively places and parties in town. Emeka took Joy to crowded clubs and bars where music played loud. At each place, Joy would dance and laugh and charm other men who saw her. Every man who got too close to Joy or who fell in love with her beauty soon started acting very strange. One by one, those men went mad, losing their minds just like the neighbor had. Emeka watched in silent terror as Joy left a trail of crazy babbling men wherever she went. He felt like a prisoner in his own body, forced to help Joy with her evil plans. Emeka grew sad and tired. It seemed there was no way out of this nightmare. He wondered if he would be trapped under the Snake Lady's spell forever. One morning, after several frightening days, Emeka's fiancée came back from her trip. Her name was Ada, and she was a kind, brave woman. Ada found Emeka at home, looking pale, sick, and silent. She knew something was very wrong. Ada had brought a special gift for Emeka from her travels, a pretty hand mirror with shiny glass and a carved wooden frame. That evening, Joy suddenly appeared in front of Emeka and Ada. Joy was furious to see Ada with Emeka, and her eyes glowed bright green with anger. Ada was startled to see a strange woman in the house. She held up the hand mirror in her hand, not knowing what else to do. Joy stepped forward, ready to grab Ada. But as Joy moved closer, she caught a glimpse of herself in the mirror that Ada was holding. Joy saw her own face in the mirror's reflection, and she did not see a beautiful woman anymore. In the glass, Joy saw the truth. She saw a terrifying giant snake with glowing red eyes. Joy let out a piercing scream that echoed through the whole house. She covered her face and shrieked as a thick cloud of smoke suddenly filled the room. Ada coughed and held tightly onto Emeka. Then, just as quickly as it began, the screaming stopped. When the smoke cleared, Joy was gone. The evil snake lady had vanished into thin air, defeated by the sight of her own true form in the mirror. For a moment, the house was silent and still. Emeka felt the heavy spell lift from his body. He could move and speak again. He was free. Emeka was shaking from all the shock, but he was so happy to be alive and safe. Ada dropped the mirror and hugged Emeka tight, relieved that he was okay. Emeka took a deep breath and told Ada the whole scary story, from the dark forest and the giant snake to Joy's spell and all the terrible things that had happened. Ada listened with wide eyes and was amazed by the story. She was just happy that Emeka was safe now. Without Joy's curse, the neighbor and all the other men who had gone mad slowly became well again, as if waking up from a bad dream. Emeka was very grateful to Ada for saving him. He knew he was lucky to have escaped the snake woman's trap. From that day on, Emeka promised that he would never, ever pick up strangers on the road, even if they looked as lovely as Joy. He had learned his lesson. Emeka and Ada were safe, and the evil snake lady was never seen in their town again. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment for more interesting stories.